What's good, YouTube? Dmgaming here, and in today's video, I want to discuss the limitless, the boundless elements to gameplay. Because a lot of people only talk about, oh, the cinematics, oh, it looks good. But how will gameplay keep you playing this game for months, if not years to come? Let's go. Gameplay is something that is the utmost importance. I mean, we look at Dragon Ball Z Kakarot and we see that it has the cutscenes elements. We see that it captures the essence of Dragon Ball Z, but how good is the gameplay actually? I mean, they've given us a plethora of live gameplay, such as we're seeing here with Goku, and we see the one with Piccolo. There's one with Majin Vegeta. There's one with Vegeta in the Batman shirt. You know, we've seen a lot of free roam gameplay. We've seen the icons and things of that effect. There are things still yet to be revealed, but what is it about the gameplay that makes this game so special? What separates this game from any other Dragon Ball game before it? To me, it is giving us the opportunity to live as close to the anime and the manga as possible. First off, the fighting. I know a lot of people talk about the combat as we see here, that it's limited, that, you know, well, there's no extensive combos and things like that. People, you have to go into this game with the right expectation. This is not a fighter. This is not a Xenoverse. This is not a 3D fighter like Xenoverse with a story. This is a pure RPG game. And RPGs are not known. RPGs aren't meant to have intricate combos, intricate combat systems. Even with that being said, with the simplicity of the combos, as the game progresses, they do get more complex as you unlock different special skills that allow you to string together combos and things of that effect. Even with that, like I said, it's one of those things where the game is meant for the story element. It's meant for the immersion and living in the game, you know. And if you have to spend your time figuring out a combat system like that's as intricate as Dragon Ball Fighters, you're not gonna have enough time, and you're not gonna be able to fully encompass the story as it is. That's just a fact. You have to know your genres of games. This is not a fighter, it is an RPG. So with that being said, even with that, like I said, we've seen the skill tree for the game. It's very extensive, and you actually have to train. I love that about this game, that in order to get the most out of your character, in order to learn new attacks, you have to train. How did Goku and them learn new attacks? How did Goku learn the Kamehameha way? How did he learn to master it? Through training. No other Dragon Ball game has done that. No other Dragon Ball game has emulated that. The closest one that I could think of was Ultimate Tenkaichi, where you actually had to train to get actual in-game benefits. Other than that, training has been nothing more than a practice mode for you to learn the controls. Now training means something. Now, when you go into battle, it means more because you've actually put in the time to train your character. And then even in the combos, in the combat system, in the fighting, it's boundless. As big as that area is, you're able to fight anywhere in that area. There are no boundaries. And I know people are going to say, well, it doesn't mean that there's boundaries. It's just like the open world concept of the game. It's an open world-esque style of game, but it's not a completely open world. But as big as that area is, there's literally no bounds. You'll be able to fight any and everywhere within that stage, and it's so big that you can qualify that as it not having any boundaries. Because look how vast that is. Even in Xenoverse, you can't fly that far to fight. In Fighters, you definitely can't. You're limited to the screen. But in here, you're gonna get the sense that this is a livable experience. Now, there could be some things that they could add to the game that I feel like they could add to the game, such as the need to eat. You don't have to eat, but it would be interesting that, I mean, because even in the anime, Goku does get hungry, and there are times when he needs to eat before he starts training or before he starts fighting. Those need to be implemented in the game. I feel like that it should. Give us the necessity, the need to eat, aside from just benefiting us as far as stat boosts and things like that. Now, people look at these boss fights. You look at the fight with Raditz, you look at the fight with Cell and Frieza, and you think, oh, the boss fights look too easy. Guys, you have not played this game. You don't know how easy or how hard it is. You're getting people who made the game, playing the game and showing the game off. Of course, they're going to make it look easy. They're the ones that designed it. They know the boss mechanics. They know when to dodge, how to dodge, and all that kind of stuff. I guarantee you, when we get the game, it may not be as easy. And then people who played it at E3 and things like that, what they don't tell you or show you in their video clips is all the times that they died. You see? So it is definitely going to be something to learn. It is going to be something to experience. I don't believe that you'll be able to just, I ain't going to say that. Someone will be able to get this game and play straight through each story mode. And the game does give you the option to do that. And they even said it, if your stick skills are good enough, you can play through the game without, fully leveling up to your maximum potential. And that's where you create that difficulty. And that's another element of it. A unique difficulty setting created by you, the player. Now, I don't know. They could put a difficulty setting in the game. I don't think that they will, but it could be possible. I'm just going off of what they said when asked about the difficulty of the game. They commented back by saying that the character, in a sense, and I'm paraphrasing, creates their own difficulty by, choosing to level up or choosing to max out their character, those kinds of things. If you want an easier game, then of course you're going to put yourself up as high as you can. We've seen that clip of Vegeta with his armor on at level 87, and people speculate and say that, well, what if at the end of the game we can change our clothing and things like that? It's a possibility, but also you have to understand this. Goku is fighting Raditz right now at level 4. There's nothing in the game stopping me from getting my Goku up to level 20 or even 30 for this fight. That way you can play it at a high level and make it easier if you want to. That's the type of route I'm going to take. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to try to mimic the anime. I want to live my own experience. If I was Goku, I want to be as strong as possible. And for those of you who are talking about the same old story, you can kind of look at it in this respect. Picture yourself going through the Dragon Ball Z universe, but you already know what's going to happen. So therefore, you can prepare yourself even more for the fight to come. You get what I'm saying? If Goku knew years ago that he was going to fight Raditz on this particular day at this particular time, do you think he would have just sat on his hands and waited until that situation came about? No, he would have put in more time training and things like that to be more prepared for the fight. You get what I'm saying? So in a sense, you kind of create your own what if scenario with that. Now, the thing that I'm most impressed about with this game is the immersion element of it. Like, if you can watch the gameplay and feel immersed, even without controlling the character, that's only going to be magnified once the game comes out. We look at Goku fighting Raditz and even Piccolo, meeting the characters in the Dragon Ball Z universe, exploring all of the places there is to explore, and the secrets there are to unlock. I mean, that immersion element is real. Then you add in eating, and you add in training, and you add in skill trees, and subquests. And each character feels like a different version of the game because you're playing through their own story. And at the end, it all connects with Goku. And guys, there is nothing. I don't believe there's going to be any game, and there's no game out Dragon Ball wise that's going to immerse you into this story as much as Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. And I'm not gassing the game up. I can see that. I've been following the game since it was first announced. I know the objective with the game. I know the background for the game. When you follow something for almost 365 days, you begin to learn a whole lot about it. You begin to see the ins and outs of it. You begin to see, the bigger picture aside from what's just shown on the screen. We can see two different things. When I'm looking at it, I'm seeing more because I've seen the little things that you're noticing, and I'm seeing beyond that. There's so much to this game that people are going to be very impressed by. game of the year, possibly. That's a very real possibility, especially with the popularity of games like Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle and Dragon Ball Legends, and then the potential for Dragon Ball Super to come back, Dragon Ball Super Heroes, World Mission. Dragon Ball is on the rise, and it's steady rising. This game is going to get the publicity that it needs. And when people play it, they're going to love it. They're going to enjoy it. The biggest draw factor is going to be the nostalgia factor for a lot of people, because the biggest base that's going to be buying this game is people like myself, who's been waiting for a game like this for decades. And then being able to play it, that nostalgia factor is going to be real. And then it's going to add some fresh elements with what we talked about yesterday with the sub quests and the special original characters and things of that nature. This game is already of epic proportion. If I had to rate it based off of what I've seen so far and what I know to be in the game from what we talked about, I would give it a 9 out of 10. I'm not going to give it a perfect score because there are some things that I do wish were in the game. There's some things that I haven't seen yet, but I think a 9 out of 10 is very fair, in my opinion, based off of what I've seen. And I would like to know, what would you rate the game? I'm not talking about rating it off of hype. I'm not talking about that excitement factor. I'm strictly going off of the things that I've seen from the gameplay, the things that they've confirmed are in the game. That's what I'm going off of. I mean, I buy any Dragon Ball game. I bought Dragon Ball Fighters, and I barely even play it. I'm not a fighting game kind of guy. I like the immersion of the game, RPG elements and stuff like that. That's why this game is right up my alley. But I'm going to support it because it's a Dragon Ball game. You see what I'm saying? But from what I've seen, from what I've looked at, from what I've learned about the game, following it for so long, I would give it a 9 out of 10. Now, you say, well, DM, what could make it a 10 out of 10? That would depend on elements that we haven't seen yet, such as the end game, DLC, the path that the game is going to take in its totality. Also, the sub quest. Once I get my hands on it, I will definitely give a better assessment of the game. But, if I knew more about the sub quest, because all we know is there's a few sub quests that explore things, but they said there's a ton of sub quests in this game. But I don't know the direction that they're going with the sub quests. We know that they're going to explore unexplored lore and give you like just typical sub quest type missions. Find this, gather this, fight this, destroy this kinds of things. But what is it in its totality? You get what I'm saying? The story is going to tell a story. Are the sub quests going to compile together to add to the story? Or are they going to take away from the story? Things like Snake Way, is that going to be in the game? I'm pretty sure it is, but is it revisitable? Is the other world going to be in the game? That's a huge factor in my opinion, because they're boasting this game about exploring things that haven't been explored yet in Dragon Ball games. And the other world is something that, in my opinion, should definitely be in the game. Imagine fighting Pycon in the other world tournament, going to Hades and fighting Cell and Frieza. Like those things need to be in this game. Those are the things that will push this game over the top into the upper echelon of the universe, guys. Let me know, what do you think down in the comment section down below? If you had to rate this game right now, not based off of hype, based off of purely what's in the game and what the game brings to the table, what would you rate it? That's all I have for right now, y'all. Till next time, thanks for watching. Peace.